you smell like Las Vegas.
Yeah, there is a distinct smell.
There is.
Yeah.
Right.
Inside the casino, it's a mix of sunscreen, a lot of cigarette smoke, and that fresh oxygen.
I felt like the cigarette smoke was less.
Well, everyone's vaping.
The first night that I was there and we were on the casino floor at the Flamingo for most of the night, I did have to just go outside by myself and just be in fresh air for a moment.
Oh, no.
You held your breath for like 3 hours.
That was like 1 a.m. And that's why I'm a lesser man than you, Benny.
I was just sucking down that vape pen at the blackjack table. I bet people were getting so annoyed. I perpetually smelled like grape.
If anyone was perpetually annoyed, it's probably because it was their first Vegas blackjack table and didn't realize that someone's smoking something at every fucking table.
Yeah.
Or McDonald's is really mad at you for shouting "Grimace"
The grimace
over and over again and stealing their trademark.
May have been some copyright infringement on your vaping, so it might become a very expensive habit pretty soon here.
Oh,
Yeah,
hopefully not.
because right now it's not expensive.
I'm not
You're
getting
not getting any
NIL money here.
there you go. Yeah, well, we all made it back safe and sound. We didn't even think about recording live from Vegas as we thought about when it was Betty's bachelor party.
That's right.
Vegas,
We spent about 2 hours trying to set that up.
which shows that we're just more well-adjusted and we are on this growth path and maturing more and more every day.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Man, what a fun trip though. That was a great time. With the
It was a
great time.
Your friends from Minnesota are pretty pretty cool guys.
Yeah,
right?
they're pretty
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
we had a
like
good-
much
good-
soda.
Yeah.
That's an old reference.
soda. We didn't listen to enough Baking Soda in Minnesota by Andre Nicotina, though.
Whoa, you're
not even
right.
5
What was
seconds
it?
of it. We didn't play it one time.
Wait. Are you guys having a band at your wedding or a DJ?
A DJ.
It's gonna just be Bay Area because JP's just gonna be.
You
hanging
know
out
he's
by
gonna
the
be my
DJ
best
table.
friend.
JP's actually gonna be DJing
He's
by the
cool.
middle part of the.
There will be a moment where I
We've
am behind
already-
the decks.
We've already met with him. His name's Kenny. Yeah, like
Oh,
AJ,
Dyke.
like AJ Murat. You always have the ox.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? By the end of the night, you will have one of your Minnesotan friends whisper to you, "My God, JP killed Kenny."
You
And
know
I'll
what
say, "You bastard."
You know
Yeah.
what would be a great idea for a wedding is if you had one of those jukeboxes that people could play their what's that called?
Pay.
Where people-
Pay to
tunes.
play.
Pay
But
to play.
and then you can pay more to. That's called the fast pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but-
all
but-
proceeds go to Terry and Sam's.
Oh, that would be
Honeymoon.
a great idea if we could set that
Yeah.
up. Probably too
Monetize
late
this
now,
shit,
but-
Terry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, how much did you have to pay for your wedding? Actually, I made $1 million because
Yeah.
Because JP played.
I have
Fizzle
friends
Dance
who
200
get
straight times.
really loose with their money when they really want to hear certain songs. So we're good. Yeah, we're gonna get married again next year. We can't wait. It's our retirement plan now.
That's actually just our jobs.
I'm gonna. You know what we could do? I can help you monetize this. I will have an entry fee for Crank That Soldier Boy Dance Off, and
right.
winner takes all. And then you don't have, because you're the groom, you don't have to enter until, the championship. You get to kind of like walk your way in like a WCC tournament. And then
I'm the Gonzaga of the last 15 years of the WCC tournament.
yes,
Don't show up
and
until
then
Saturday.
Every time you want to if you win, you have to pay to be in the next round, and it slowly consolidates until it's just one person left with a potential purse of millions.
So we've listened to Crank That how many times by the end of this? If it's a one-on-one tournament each time.
Don't worry. I'm intermixing Thistle
I will
Dance
say,
plenty.
as much as I love Cranking That Soldier Boy, I do think that's a song that you should have to pay money for to hear it at weddings because it's just been too many times for all of us at this point.
Yeah.
Well, how much do I got to pay to
There's
make
always
you
some
crank
dad
that at your
who
wedding?
asks me what is this, and I have to explain it again.
No, you
and
don't
I'm
explain
like-
it. You just start breaking into your Crank That dance.
No, I
still don't understand.
It's after doing the Crank that you have to explain yourself to quite a few people.
Well, in college, I was known for busting out this move better than anybody, and they're I still don't understand.
And you still got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then after 15 minutes of explaining it, they're like, wait, I still don't understand why he had whiteout on his sunglasses. That seems to defeat the purpose. It spelled his name.
Shades like that? Didn't we do that?
For Halloween or Soldier Boy. A Soldier Boy one year.
No, I feel like we just did it.
Not
for Halloween.
07. If you made those shades, that's between you and God and Soldier Boy, JP.
Yeah, aka one and the same.
I just wrote Soldier Boy in whiteout over like my very normal golf sunglasses that were absolutely not Soldier Boy shades, but it worked. People knew who I was because it said it right there.
JP, you missed it when we were at the pool on Saturday at the link. They played how many T-Pain songs do you think they played, Terry?
Oh, a lot.
Approximately 69 T-Pain songs.
Nice.
It was like Terry gave them the soundtrack to his favorite songs while we were at Oregon State, and they played all of them. It was kind of wild. Yeah.
Right.
Did you do that, Terry? Don't lie.
No, I guarantee you that playlist
I'm
was
buy
just
you a drink.
I
was gonna say, how many times did they play buy you a drink to try to get dudes to go buy drinks for people?
I think that playlist
like
is a 2008 frat party on Spotify. If you want to live vicariously through us and pretend like you were at our pool party last Saturday, just listen to that playlist.
Maybe.
Without the good songs, though.
Are you asking me to do that?
There are good songs.
Well,
I had as many days there as everybody else.
There were some good songs,
and that's why I didn't complain about them. It was your bachelor party.
I can't remember.
It was a lot of
anything. We had, but not on a boat, unfortunately.
No, they did not play on a boat.
Dude, T-Pain's such a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah. He looks like he's a good dude.
He's actually a good singer.
It looks like you're about to hate on T-Pain, Benny. What is this?
I already did.
Well,
he sounds like you're about to. Well, can we get a welfare check on T-Pain after these sick burns from Benny? Is there something bad about T-Pain? I don't know.
No, there's just other artists I would like to listen to more. They just played a lot of T-Pain.
When you're at a pool party in Vegas?
Yeah, I was hoping for some Andre Nicotina.
But different vibe.
Right.
That's a different vibe.
Kind of vibe. That's the kind of pool party I want to live in.
That's where you're like having fun, but quietly drowning the person next to you behind your back.
Razor Sharp works at a pool party.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people. That's a song most people have heard, but they don't know that it's under Nicotina.
Or My Rap World would be good because if that's a good like sing-along.
Ayo for Yayo would work.
Yeah,
Ayo for Yayo.
Vegas,
They played I'm in Love with the Coco, which is actually a pretty slow song, but it played for like 9 minutes.
People are dancing like this, super slow mo.
So Ben was really mad when T-Pain came in with some energy. God forbid.
We were watching March Madness, so I can't complain when we're in a cabana, shading me from the sun, watching basketball. Music was secondary.
Embroiled in a very intense game of Giant Jenga.
Yes, and watching all of my bet slips just get demolished.
Slip away.
Just like the Jenga tower.
Yeah.
Looking good. I got it.
There it goes.
I was so sure McNeese State was going to win that game. They did not.
Yeah.
Oh.
You weren't the only one. I feel like half the bachelor party bet on McNeese to make it to the Sweet 16.
Oh, really? I don't know.
A lot of people had... Because that was the one where, like, you could still just a straight up bet on McNeese paid out, like
a bit
times 10. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So everyone woke up that day and was like, McNeese is going to make me rich today.
Well, and someone showed me the viral guy from McNeese that walks in with the big old boombox.
Yeah, Amir Khan.
I was like,
I read about him on the airplane.
He has an NIL deal.
He has like 12 NIL deals.
Yeah.
Can we get him in the transfer portal, or can we even afford him?
That flew like overnight to bring him a custom Under Armour jumpsuit.
Really?
In time for the round of 32 game.
That's amazing.
Dude, can we trade Michael Ratai for him?
It's too late, I think. I take it. Yeah, now that we've lost the leverage.
That's what college athletics needs.
Trades?
But trades, like,
a draft.
A sign and trade, essentially.
Oh, sorry, they don't have an engineering program. Looks like you're going to have to study poli-sci.
No, but like, hey, okay, yeah, you want out? Like, give us 10 days before you make the announcement to be able to trade you.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
There's ways.
College sports is a business right now.
We got to talk about this, but we should talk about it for beers. But I think,
You cannot have it run like the business that it is, but also claim like scholastics are important, because clearly they're not.
Right.
Clearly they're not. It's opportunity in scholastics, education, that is not what it is.
For sure. Well, do we want to talk about any other fun stuff before we get into it? JP, did you hit any big winners down in Vegas? No.
No, but I had like $10 left on a sports book receipt, and as I was waiting for a super secret producer or Skinner to come to the lobby so we could take a Uber together to the airport, I was like, that's cool. Take your time. I'll get in line to just cash this $10. Then I looked at the line. It was like 12 dudes deep. And I was like, never mind. I'm just going to eat the $10. I almost hid it in the casino for you guys to like go find it and just use it.
It's at one of the Buffalo exchanges.
Yeah.
Figure out.
Dig around. One. Yeah. Put your hands in places that no one else would.
Right.
So did any of you guys come out on top?
No, this is like my worst trip.
I came out even in a very hilarious way. So I was up about $100 on the roulette tables, ended up getting back down to even and losing that whole 100 right before the big dinner on Friday night when everyone showed up. That was like the peak mood. It was the first time there's too many people. Everyone was great, but there was too many people. I'm that guy who invites 18 people to the bachelor party. So there was 18 people in a room. On the way to Caesars, I stopped at the same roulette table at the Flamingo where I had won money, and I lost all of it. And then I was down. I put in 50 on the sportsbook app, the Caesar sportsbook app, and was kind of going back and forth. I hit. We were at the cigar bar late on Friday night. I just looked what was happening. And it was like 1 a.m. Pacific time, and I just threw $5 on a live New Zealand professional basketball game that paid out like 50. But then I lost. I got down. I was leaving, and I got down. I only had $10 left in the thing, so I was about to be down a total of $150, which isn't that bad for the trip. So I threw that remaining 10 just on the one HL parlay that was like on the Caesar Sportsbook thing, and it hit, and it paid about 150. So I netted 100. So I did. Yeah, I'm even. And there's sports gambling is illegal here in Minnesota. It's also illegal in Oregon. Pretty sure it's illegal in California too.
No, it's not.
It's legal in Oregon.
It's legal in Oregon.
Yeah.
Is it? Can you bet from the apps though?
Yeah.
Or you have to go to a casino,
but not in college sports.
Oh, it's not in college sports. Okay.
Yeah, Washington, you can bet on college sports. You just can't bet on Washington schools.
When I'm in LA this week, can I bet on sports, or is California?
No, California is still a no.
I could drive to Vegas from LA.
Yeah, you can.
I could go back. It's all right. No, later this year I'll drive to Iowa to make this. So I'm even. That was a long story to get to even.
I'm down 60. Well, I am out 60, but I think we should do our beer segment and toast to your favorite moment of Terry's bachelor party.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Do you have one, JP?
I'm trying to think through them now.
Okay. You had a great idea for cheers, but now we all need to think of what it is.
Yeah. We can cut this dead air. This will be the fluff. No. We finally qualified for fluff.
No, never. 177 episodes. No fluff.
Did you say fluff is fluff? We're cutting it.
It's like straight no chaser, straight no fluff.
I did just get my beer to balance on its side, which is really cool. I don't know how, like, at the little corner.
I'm looking at it. I have one, and that is when we're all trying to get from Flamingo area to Topgolf, and I lied and said the reservation was earlier than it was to everyone, thinking that we'll lose 15 minutes and we'll be like 10 to 15 minutes early, whatever. It was at 1:30. I said it was at 1. and you guys got there at like 12:40, and another group got there at like 12:45. I was with like 4 other guys, like about to be like on time. And I just looked up to see, like, I'll try and see where everyone's at in the group chat. And I think JP, you had sent a picture, or you were in the picture, so maybe someone else sent it. But it was just like 8 of you, some of my college friends, some of my home friends, some who had met before, some meeting for the first time, just with the caption, "We're doing tequila shots."
Yeah.
And what's fun when you are the Bachelor and like you're the last to get to a location, everyone turns around and yells "A," which we kind of made a rap song about in college one time. So just like that was like peak funness of the day. It was early afternoon, sun was out, college basketball games were in full force, and then we just bombed some sick golf shots for 3 hours at Topgolf.
Yeah.
And
that was fun.
I couldn't have asked for a better move.
I got to do a couple Happy Gilmore shots.
Oh, and I have a hams. So cheers.
Oh,
cheers
nice.
to that.
Yeah. My Happy Gilmore shots were very fun. So were the tequila shots. This isn't my favorite moment, piggybacking your favorite moment, was after we were done and were lazily sitting on couches watching college basketball, right, and somehow invented a game of throwing like Sonic rings on little pegs on a board.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was so hard though.
And I'm the only one who made it on.
Oh, you did? I forgot about that.
But mine bounced, but it still made it on. Technique.
Did Aaron Balaka give you money? Because he put down like $2.
Yeah.
It was like $2 to get it on, and then another 15 minutes went by, and I think I left before you hit it, Jay. But so
I ended up with like 20 wins, and then like Aaron was like, "Here, you get this because you made it." Because I didn't know it was like even for it, and it bounced off the ground and went quick right onto the little hook thing, a little peg, and then he's like, "This is yours, dude," and I just like threw it all up in the air, and it rained down on everyone sluggishly sitting on those couches, and we probably annoyed that family or whoever they were behind us that were trying to watch college basketball, but
they were having fun watching us, I'm sure.
I did ask multiple times, "Are we in your way?" And they've all said no, so they had that opportunity.
We were probably so intimidating to tell a group of 18 guys who were taking tequila shots, "Hey, you guys are bugging us. Can you please settle down?" But they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not drinking, but I do have Spumoni ice cream upstairs. So that is
not it. I'm surprised I'm even drinking.
But what's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was the favorite moment. Well, I guess it wasn't the favorite moment of Terry. It was one of your friends telling a story about over the pants HJ on a bridge. For our listeners, I'm not going to go into detail.
This was not a story about me. Should be clear, this was not a story about me.
Not a story about Terry, and I don't think it's probably
it's not a story about me. Let's just clear.
And it's also not a story about me that I was hearing for the first time. But it was a story that had me in absolute tears. It was one of the most funny stories I've ever heard. I think just the general stories about Terry. So Friday night we had a dinner at this really wonderful restaurant called Water Grill.
Water Grill at Caesars.
And I mean, great spot if that's what you picked, Terry. And
my steak was so good.
Yeah, mine was too.
It was
but we went around and we told our favorite Terry story.
We're in a private room, FYI.
Yeah, and I had one of Terry's friends tripping balls right next to me, who I met for the first time, who was also a fantastic person. Yeah. And I had taken an edible or half of an edible, and as it gets to me, I just had this like boom, 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 boom feeling where the edible had just hit, and they were real strong, trying to tell a story in front of a bunch of dudes. So I passed the first time, but it was
that's why you passed.
I got super nervous because it had hit right as that
you were
was
like,
happening. My brain just went blank. I was like, I have no stories of Terry, actually. Next person.
Right. Yeah, I just met this guy.
Yeah. Who is this?
Just because we've done like 200 podcast episodes together, I'm supposed to know the guy? Jeez.
So I think the combination of those two things were my favorite part. I always love hearing stories about somebody I know.
Was it the Aaron story where he showed his ass tat right in front of the waiter?
Was it there? No. Well, then one server didn't see it and came in and went, who's got the ass tat? And Stevens was like, do you want to see it? So Stevens
we were in
down twice.
We were in a private room,
nice restaurant,
but it wasn't that private because it had glass.
It was a fishbowl.
Had windows.
There was a family, like a family with like children on the other side of the sliding doors.
And our friend went to IU and has a big IU tattoo on his butt.
Oh,
and
so everyone knows who we're talking about.
What's that?
I'm kidding. I was saying now everyone knows who we're talking.
So he's slapping it, and then there were families in not the other room. It was the same room, just separated by glass. It was very fun.
True.
It was
that
good. Whole
when
you guys both crushed it. I can't really remember what you or anyone else said because it was just banger after banger.
Well, I made up my first one.
I was in tears the entire time. Did you make up your first one?
I said I used to shave your chest, and that was my favorite memory of you.
Mine was.
Were you there? Were you there at Pie Cap when I lost that bet to Bodie and had to have people wax my chest?
No.
Okay. All right.
But I could only imagine because all of my past history shaving your chest. That may or may not have happened. Right. Honestly, I don't remember if I've ever done that. I can't say either way.
I did used to shave my chest back then. So
but I probably give you a good little haircut, not a full shave. Just a nice little trim back.
You gave me a 2-3 fade from the stomach up to the chest. Wow, your chest hair looks really intentional. That's
or maybe I got lost on the stomach, as I was cutting your actual hair. I'm like, where does it end? Is it still your sideburn?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
Okay, well, enough about Terry. My favorite moment was Benny being down to his last 80 cents on the firecracker game.
Oh yeah,
and then hitting a massive spin, and what you ended up $94 somehow.
No,
you had peaks and valleys.
Up $50 on. I got down super low and hit it was a $94 jackpot.
Yeah, on your last 80 cents spin.
Yeah. No, I was down pretty low. I blew through $80 within.
Was this a separate moment from I think Friday night?
You weren't there. This is not
late
your
Friday night party. This is not your moment anymore, dickhead. But Friday night or something, you said, "All right, I'm calling. I'm going to bed," and I was like, "All right, see ya." And then I hung out with whoever was still around, and that may have been Thursday night.
And then you were creeping
I'm walking through the link tables area, and I just see you, and I see that little purple grimace with a puff of smoke go up, and then you look at me.
We just got sued.
You look at me from across the room and I'm just like, hey, thought you were, and then before I could even say it, you yelled, I didn't go to bed. And then a few minutes later, you get up and you throw me from not close to me, a $500 chip. And I'm like, oh, are you up $500 now? And you're like, no, but I didn't lose $500 anymore.
Dude,
so give it back.
I went from 400 to 100 within the blink of an eye. And then I flipped that into 600. Happen. So yeah, that's real close.
The table you sat at, though, the blackjack table, you went solo.
Oh,
I don't know if I've ever seen any.
Don't ever go to a blackjack table solo. It's too fast. They do it too. Yeah. You lose your money too fast.
It was 45 seconds, and you had lost 4 straight hands, and you were down
bets.
$50 minimum, so you can't slow play it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I really sat down so I could get a free drink, and now I'm down $600.
I can either bet more or have a really mad wife, or have a not mad wife, or bet
or
more.
both.
Yeah.
No,
I think betting more is always the smart choice.
Yeah. I ended up $30, so that's a huge win for me. I'm usually losing a ton of money in Vegas. Yeah.
Well, then I think you guys owe me the difference because I'm the only one down 60.
Give me your $10 coupon. And maybe
does it ever go bad? I'm definitely gonna lose it before the next time I go to Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. There's probably a void after a certain period mark in the fine print. Do you have it on you?
No. Why would I have it on me? I don't even know where it is.
If it's in your wallet or something.
I don't have a wallet.
But you pulled something out just now and looked down. I didn't know if you were looking for it.
No, I pulled it. I didn't pull anything out.
I thought you.
Don't incriminate me. I didn't pull anything.
I was just
Anyways, can I say my beer?
Yes.
It's Level Game on IPA.
Oh,
wow.
Like
nice.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
You weren't as successful in Buffalo this time as you were at my bachelor party.
Well, no.
How could
but
you
you have to take your lumps in order to celebrate your success.
Yeah.
So now my original success feels even better, and I'm more motivated than ever to return to form, if not even increase my winnings next time.
Nice.
But also game on, because I feel like it's on with transfer season.
Yay. So, all right, let's raise our hams, our game ons, our Bud Light, Miller Light, Pedialyte, Benny.
Spumoni.
We all should be
Spumoni Light.
We all should be sipping.
What is that? A Grimace drink?
Yeah, it is. It's actually my new Grimace.
Hey, God.
Wow.
It's grapefruit and blossom.
Cheers to you, Terry and Sam.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it was such a blast.
I know there was never any doubt.
I got there early.
You did.
Where did Benny go?
That. I don't know where Benny went. He just disappeared.
Oh,
there he is. We can keep going.
He got too stoned off that fat Grimace hit.
Don't make me tell another story about Terry.
Please don't. They're getting more and more risque as they come out. So
they can't be more risque than your friends.
I know we put the explicit tag on every episode, so we can't really put another warning on it.
Man, I wish I could tell your friend's story. It is so funny.
Just have to wait for another time. You're just going to have to come to the wedding. Yeah. If you want to come to my wedding, join our Patreon at the $1,000 level. Terry's honeymoon fund tier.
I will put that up. Will you honor it? Because I already invited Greg Oden to your wedding.
You did invite Greg Oden to my wedding, so it depends
if
Greg Oden accepts the invitation or not.
He would show up.
And I had to pay $5 to send him that message on Cameo.
An additional $5 on top of what you already sent? That's not cool. You should get at least like one free message.
Well, last time I was like chatting with him. He was like, "Happy Thanksgiving!" Like 5 years ago. It was way different then, man.
Now Cameo's got corporate.
Yeah. All these policies around protecting their talent when they're just starving them from human interaction by keeping them behind their phones.
Right, locked away. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. Before we get into anything, I think the first thing we have to do is tip our hat, our caps. I'm not wearing one, but figuratively to
Benny is.
Oregon State women's basketball. It was a hell of a run, and at halftime on Saturday, it looked like that run may continue down by just two to a powerful North Carolina team on the road in the tournament, and then North Carolina was just too strong, but man, it really
whatever her face is, who hit 5 threes in the third quarter, like didn't help.
Right. And that just happens. But man.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I don't think you chalked it up to anything, but just like they were highly skilled and got hot. I honest to God, I thought first quarter, okay, this happens. Right. This team, recent, Scott Rueck led teams tend to maybe not be dominant from the tip
and assess the situation for a little bit.
Right, exactly. It's almost like the cheat code with Rueck is like, well, now I've seen a quarter, I know where I can exploit things, and the adjustments are made on the fly. They're made at halftime, and usually you see us come out even better, especially after halftime. But when we started to just claw back into that game and even have a lead in the second quarter, it was like,
it's like
maybe just the players in the court got it going, and maybe this is evenly matched. We don't need the Rueck magic to help separate, at halftime, and we'll just carry on with what we're doing. I think that actually may have led into why the third quarter didn't go as obviously we wanted to, but as they normally did for this team this year, was solely because I think a lot of people felt like it was figured out, but whatever her name is had not gotten hot yet. And that was like their ace up their sleeve. So
yeah,
it was good. It was a tough second half. Great season.
And I think that's the key here is anytime you have a team that makes it to the NCAA tournament in this case, but the playoffs, you obviously want them to go as far as they can. But for all the reasons we've talked about all season, it felt like making the tournament was a huge, huge feat for this team. I mean, for everything that happened to them, they should not have made the tournament this year. Like they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And they did, and they persevered through a lot. And yeah, I mean, hats off to them. I think just getting to the tournament was a massive, massive win for this team.
What were their preseason odds?
I have no idea.
They could not
probably
good.
Not good.
Like,
I mean, they're finished. They're picked to finish 4th in the West Coast Conference, I want to say. Or was that the men?
No, that was women. They were predicted to finish 4th, but there's a lot of separation from
the top. And if you just finish 4th without winning the tournament, without winning the conference tournament, you're not going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was definitely a tough result. It was just kind of their day at the end. But, it was that, I think, Kennedy Schuler was crying during the post-game press conference and just said that there were, tears of gratitude of everything that this group put together this season. And I thought that was really poignant and really moving of a thing for her to express, because, I think it's by the end of it, we talk about so much, it was so tough, so much perseverance, blah, 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 but like part of like the joy in it was like they were clearly having so much fun playing with each other.
Yeah.
And especially when you're a student athlete, obviously always when you're a fan, but when you're in college and you're playing basketball and you're having a fun season, you don't want that season to ever end. And it's devastating when it does. So that was, obviously on all of our minds watching it come to a close. But special shout out to the OSU content team. I've had me in tears multiple times with the different, AJ Murat and Kelsey Reese tributes that have been going out there. So that special group.
Deservedly.
Not the season I think we all saw when a very different Oregon State team hung tough with South Carolina last year, and we hadn't heard anything yet, but definitely as rewarding, and one none of us are going to forget anytime soon.
No, and again, loyalty is remembered, and honored. Victories and everything else are enjoyed and will have their own enshrinement. But that kind of stuff occurs for all teams every season.
Yeah.
There's always a champion. There's always a team that makes it to the Elite Eight. There's always 8 of them. But there's only one team this year that was as decimated and had such a big loss from a potential Final Four team. And those who stuck it out and still were able to carry the team to where they got, you can't even replicate that.
I mean, it's
immortality.
To your point, AJ was not the key contributor on that Elite 8 team, but AJ is going to be the one that gets remembered more so than any of the people that were. So, yeah, and I don't feel like all schools are like that, are like Oregon State in that way. I feel like Oregon State especially appreciates and celebrates loyalty. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen that across multiple different sports, how loyalty is very much celebrated at Oregon State.
And given, no one's really came out and declared, I will be back next year, unless I missed anything. No one's talking about leaving, though. But there's been heavy implications and mentions of coming back between Katarina Fajeda, Tira Bolden, and Kennedy Schuler. So that's 3 of your starting 5. Ruick, there's nothing that will make me believe he's ever going until I see him in some fucking SEC quarter zip on the sidelines, and even then I probably still wouldn't believe it. So there will be another great team assembled next year, but we'll never forget this outfit. 2024-25 Oregon State women's basketball team,
the resurrection
WCC
squad,
conference tournament champions. Yeah,
honestly, has there ever been a team that was able to rise from the perceived dead as well as they did?
It's hard.
Not at Oregon State.
Not at Oregon State.
I don't know anywhere.
Certainly, we may have one friend with a certain gluteus tattoo that may argue that it's happened in the men's program at a certain Midwestern university, but we'll leave that to be discussed off the pod with that luckily tatted individual. Anything else on women's basketball, you guys, before we move on? Other than
just salute to
hearts.
All the seniors. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll never forget this. Continuing with the negativity, I was excited to get out here
people
and just wax poetic about the college basketball crowd and how I was getting shit for not having my bachelor party at the same time with the college basketball crowd in Vegas. I love just content like this. I was excited to get into like, oh, it's a new tournament. It's all in Vegas. Here's the TV deal associated with it. Here's the NIL like association, blah, blah, blah. Now it looks like Oregon State for sure, but it's Oregon State's opponent, UCF, also might not have a fucking team because they've had a pretty difficult day in the portal, as have we, with the notable mentions of Michael Ratai entering his name in the portal, Nate Kings entering his name in the portal, and DeJon Craig entering his name in the portal.
When did Nate Kings must have done this right before we started recording?
A couple hours ago.
A couple hours ago. It was Ratai was what broke first, and DeJon Craig and Nate Kings was. I specifically went to OregonLive.com to see him. Like, I wonder if anyone else is in. And there is just a big photo, horizontal, wide, like full spread of Nate Kings. And I was like, yep, he's gone. I was looking forward to making a crown for a Kings jokes all throughout the college basketball crown tournament. Now that bit's dead. Thanks, Nate Kings, killer of my comedic dreams.
That's really frustrating. I really thought that last year was going to be the really, really, really bad year. And in some respects it was. We lost Pope and Bilodeau, among others. But I would argue that Nate and Ratai were our two most influential players out on the court throughout the whole season. That's really frustrating.
Well, let me just run through this. I don't care about their fake ass, like I will be upfront. Yeah, this bothers me in a lot of ways because of like who has entered and because it's clearly a parlaying success into perceived opportunity and bailing on your team before the season is over. There's so many things that are wrong in this situation. I still have to question now, was Michael Ratai really hurt or sick or whatever in the game versus Pepperdine? Or was he already checked out? Because he did not make a basket.
Fair point. So
there's a lot of things that are bothering me about this. But one, let's just roll through this. Not only did Michael Ratai and his little whatever graphic that's a novel in itself, and bro, white text on a colored background is
don't do it.
Really a no. Like, use some gradient or something behind it, please. Anyways, the fact that he even says from a young age, it was my dream to play Division I college basketball in the United States, be able to live that dream as a Beaver has meant everything to me. I have to question that. I don't disagree that it was probably his lifelong dream to play college basketball in the United States. But there isn't a simple, straightforward way to just recruit an overseas player to play in the United States like it is to go recruit somebody in your own backyard. There are hurdles that the university has to go through. There's different things that they have to do file for. I mean, it is a headache. And all of this feels extremely hollow and empty after that, when he just directly says in the beginning that he's grateful for fulfilling his dream. But what he doesn't really acknowledge is that his dream may have never reached this point nor come true if it wasn't for Oregon State. To me, this is like the most extreme, delta of loyalty from one side to the other because of all the stuff that goes into bringing a foreign player into a program in college, bringing them up to speed, building them, developing them. The team is growing and getting better alongside their growth, and then just being like, but I decided to enter my name in the transfer portal. It wasn't an easy decision, but I'm looking forward to what lies ahead. That pisses me off. It pisses me off. I know there are other transfer players on different sports or whatever that make other fans maybe more angry, but this one to me makes me angry. Again, let's just read about his personal bio on OSUBeavers.com. He chose Oregon State because they care for you, not just as an athlete, but they want you to develop as a person. I really think that is the right mindset. I also like the playing style the coaches want to play, and I think I can do well in their style. Well, you did, Michael Ratai, and guess what? You have shown appreciation for it by walking away when the season is still not done. I know this tournament means nothing, but there's NIL money on the line. There are teammates that depend on him. There are coaches, there are fans that may be going to this that he walked out on. So fucking get out of here with this bullshit see you later. I'm sorry, but this is the best thing for me. Apology right now. Save it until at least you've left it out on the court for the rest of the season.
You know what? I agree with everything you said. I think the words coming from anybody sharing a graphic like that are hollow. I think that they're becoming comical because all fans are pretty much in agreement that
it's ridiculous that anyone is advising anyone to do the full length infographic.
Write 600 words about why you're leaving.
Here, can I add some context from where I think people should be also looking at it from this angle is that, look, if you're Ratai clearly was the best player on this team. I think Ratai, with the exception of Ike, was probably the best player in the West Coast Conference this last year. And if you look at Oregon State's two best players last year, Jordan Pope and Tyler Bilodeau, they both were playing in the tournament and had pretty substantial roles on their team. I think, separate from Ratai, you have to look at Tinkle. If I'm Ratai, look, like, I think the way he went about it was wrong. I think the way that he sort of touted himself as the loyal one and wanting to run it back this year looks pretty bad right now. Very frustrated with his decision and the way that he went about it. But I also think that it would be negligent to say that Ratai probably wasn't looking at Pope and Bilodeau and going, okay, well, they're getting a ton more exposure this year than they did last year. And if it were to go the other way around and we were to say we're getting Jordan Pope and Tyler Bilodeau next year, like, how is this team not going to make a run for the Sweet 16 or Elite 8? Like, these are two big name players on big name teams that are making a lot of noise, but it was the other way around and we didn't do shit last year. And I think it's just showing that maybe Tinkle doesn't know what to do with his talent. I don't think Tinkle's bad at recruiting. Clearly he's not, but I don't know if he knows what to do with talent. And maybe that's why we're seeing players that are reaching their prime go away. And be very successful other places.
Better. Bilodeau might be the only example of a player that got better and exposure under Tinkle that transferred away.
I didn't watch either of them closely enough to make that call.
Bilodeau is like one of the top 3 contributors at UCLA.
Yeah, and
Jordan Pope, he had some shining moments, but he did not get better.
He didn't put up better stats, that's for sure.
He did not get better.
But he was on a much better team and a definite contributor on that team.
Right.
Okay, but then it comes down to this. If you're a guy like Pope and you go, I maybe reached my ceiling as a player. Yeah, I got to maximize my exposure. I think it's this simple sometimes. And I think as fans, we try to like really pick apart, like, well, what are the underlying reasons? And there might be, but I think it's as simple as this. Players reach their potential and they self-acknowledge it and they go, how do I maximize this? Look at Silas Bolden. It's the same idea. Okay, I can't go harder and better than this. I have reached my physical gifted limits. How do I maximize it right now before that opportunity runs out? Mm-hmm. I think that Jordan Pope was in that boat. I think that, I would say that probably not many other basketball examples, but I would say like Bolden was in that boat.
Yeah, I would say that
Damian maybe, but I would say that also Pope. How good would he have been in the West Coast Conference? Would he have been better than Ratai this year?
Probably.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
I'll say probably. Not definitely, but probably. I do think.
But other players, just to finish the thought, they go because they go, no, I am getting better and need the opportunity to go improve even further. Right. And that's where I think Ratai is in the middle. And that's why it's so infuriating. Like, I don't think he's reached his ceiling.
No, he definitely has not.
And so he doesn't need to go like get his bag right now. We just talked like 3 weeks ago that we thought that guy's NBA
in the draft
level talent. Yes.
Yeah, right. This year.
And then is he a guy who's like, I am that good? It took him playing in the WCC. No offense to WCC, but it took his 2 best players leaving his team and his entire program dropping in the eyes of the greater public to play lesser competition for him to finally shine. So was he really like, I just need to be pressed harder? Or was he also being like, I'm as good as I'm going to get, so I need to go get money? He was neither. He was none of them. That's why it's like, I can't even bucket what his decision making process was with this.
There's a couple things. No, Benny, can I please jump in? There's a couple things with both. I think, and I'm big fans of both the Ratai Pope examples. I'm big fans of both of their games and loved watching them at Oregon State. I think, especially watching this year's tournament, last year's tournament, I think there is probably a serious ceiling on a team and what a team can accomplish in that tournament with one of those players as its best player. If you had both of them together, that's a hypothetical this year. That's a hypothetical I would have loved to have lived in. I think it's a rather generous reading, even myself saying this, that's the number one reason. Like if you want to win a championship and you can't do it as the main dog, but you can get money elsewhere. Money is something we need to talk about because, especially related to Ratai, because it now appears apparent that international players can make money on the NIL market, which they previously weren't allowed to. It's being reported that Ratai is going to get a ton of money that's not in OSU's budget. Dash will put that out there. I don't think Dash would put that out there without at least having some inkling of knowing. There are ways to make it work.
Like everything that's happened with NIL, there are workarounds. It is not as simple as it is for American based
but
athletes,
I think it's probably more simple than it was 12 months ago.
Well, it's more simple than it was 12 months ago because people figured out the loopholes and the way to execute.
But that was a thing we talked about, was that the only reason Tinkle was going so international, or that we were getting so many international players? But he made some pretty impressive pickups throughout the season.
And it might have been at the time.
So that is another thing to keep an eye on, that if Oregon State knew how to play that as an advantage prior, that might be a shrewd move that just doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I'm sick of the infographics, for one. I understand that a lot of people outside of the game are treating it just like a cold-hearted business, and so why should we expect any difference from the players? I understand that logically and when I read it on paper, but like we've said several times, fandom doesn't exist on paper, and it's hard to believe in things anymore when this is the result every time.
I mean, I think that Ratai is getting a little bit of shine, right? People are recognizing that, hey, this guy has NBA potential. I think he probably wants to get that exposure. I don't think that he thinks that he's reached his ceiling. I know that wasn't alluded to, but I think that's what it comes down to. And I think this is going to stop. And Nate Kings too. No one knew who Nate Kings was at the beginning of the season. Now,
that's me too.
Now,
homegrown dude.
Right. And I think that OSU fans are just going to have to realize that part of this is OSU is a AAA team feeding into the majors right now. Once the Pac-12, for sure. Right now, for sure. Once the Pac-12 becomes a conference, and we have San Diego State, and we have Gonzaga, and we have Colorado State has been really good the last couple years, Utah State. Right, when we have that competition, hopefully the media deal gets a ton of exposure, or gets these players a ton of exposure. I think we'll stop seeing this. Once a player pops at Oregon State, they'll go somewhere else.
I don't.
I think it'll,
because precedence is set, dude, and people have long memories. And when you're growing up and you experience something, how many times did you think a college football program was one of the elites? Because when you were like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, you just remember them being really good or being in the championship. Lo and behold, by the time you're 18, they're like, a 5-win football program, right? Like my point is, like, people have long memories. They don't forget what happens, and it doesn't matter if circumstances change because they don't even probably understand the circumstances that are occurring now. It's all perception based. What matters right now is not letting people like this get loose or not recruiting them to begin with. I don't know if there's a solution to this, but NIL and the transfer portal and the idea of exposure and media deals, everything, all of it combined is equally evil when combined. I'm not saying they're evil separately. I totally understand why they're in place, and I am for most of them individually, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something. Oregon State developed Michael Ratai from a no-name But whoa, now that he's been recruited by Oregon State, let's look at his tape. Wow, he was actually pretty damn good playing and like as a professional basketball player in Europe, in Germany. But wait, my point is like there's got to be guardrails put in if this is going to keep going.
Right. And I think that's a little bit, there's an optimistic view towards that, but also this age of NIL and transfer portal, even though it feels like it's been forever and taking years off our lives, and I'm sure it actually has, but it is still rather new, and there is a lot of mutual belief that it's turned into kind of a disaster. So within the next few years, it wouldn't be surprising at all to see NIL programs existing and be legal, but with heavy guardrails put in place. Same for the transfer portal. I don't think it is naive or crazy to think there'll be some kind of reactionary restrictions put in place.
The only reaction is going to go against everything.
That doesn't necessarily help Oregon State. That doesn't necessarily help Oregon State. I don't know what the NCAA stands for.
It will if it goes this way, because if the NCAA says like we need to put guardrails in, which I don't think they have the spine to do. I think they're living terrified at the moment.
It's not just that. There's pressure from like high profile coaches and administrations that don't want to keep doing this.
Maybe,
and they'll cave to those people eventually.
Well, who will cave?
Anyone at the NCAA who has always caved to the preferences of high-profile coaches and high-profile programs who are frustrated in a different way, but are also frustrated.
The biggest silent roadblock right now to making this actually work for everybody, players, programs, fans, is the fact that no one wants to acknowledge that these college athletes are college employees.
Yeah.
The minute that somebody, NCAA or otherwise, like just swallows that pill and says, fine, you're right, that's the only way forward, then it will be settled. Then they can start negotiating. Then we can have contracts. Then we can have retribution, payback. Hey, you want to transfer? Fine. But if you haven't earned the money from your NIL deal, you have to pay it back. Hey, if you transfer within X amount of years and you get a NIL deal to transfer, and that's your reason for leaving is a financial reason, fine, good for you. But your contract with your school stipulates that you have to pay them X amount of your NIL deal, and it goes towards their program. It goes towards their NIL funds to recruit new people. That is an even system. That is honestly the only way forward if you're going to regulate this.
How about this? So if Michael Rataj goes to, let's say, Ohio State, and Ohio State offers to pay him $500,000 in money, what about a rule that says Ohio State would then have to pay Oregon State $500,000 that goes into their NIL fund?
I don't think
whatever
it's
buying out, but it wouldn't match 1-to-1, but give 10%, 20%, whatever the contract is that he signed out of, what the pre-university, whatever they call it in Germany, whatever you sign to come play at Oregon State, you have a deal in place for NIL. It's contractually obligated. And when you leave and you transfer, whatever school picks you up, no matter what one you choose or agree with, there is a stipulation in the contract that they were aware of, that you were aware of as a player, that they are well aware of because they put it in your contract, that whatever place you go, whatever money you sign for must be paid out in retribution in some percentage point.
But see, I don't even think that it should be the money. I think it should be based on the money that they're making.
Well, not from,
right?
Yeah, not as I'm saying, not from Rataj, but like let's say hypothetical, Rataj comes to Oregon State, NIL, collegiate athletes, all of that's contractually agreed.
Yeah.
We agree to pay him whatever he signs on the dotted line, but in the fine print, if you transfer, you have to return any NIL money that you have been fronted for opportunities to come, right? Opportunities that, money that's unearned essentially. And B, whatever NIL contract you sign with a future university while you are still eligible to play collegiate basketball, athletics, whatever, 20% must also come, not of your earnings, but 20% of that contract must come from the collective that you're signing with, the university and joint collective you're signing with. Probably by that point, they'll be under the same umbrella, and come back to Oregon State.
Yeah. There needs to be an incentive for programs like Oregon State right now, who's pumped out now 4 players in the last 2 years with Bilodeau, Pope, Kings and Ratai, there should be some sort of comeback to Oregon State for producing this talent. Like if you're
compensation,
going to be,
MLB has compensation picks for free agents who just decide we're not even going to even entertain your offer. We're just leaving, and they go,
top pick equivalent is coming to college athletics for sure. I don't know what form that will take, but it's happening.
Or player contracts that are bought and sold, like soccer.
Again,
right? Like
same idea. Trade them. Trade them. Transfer portal is literally to trade a player.
And here's the other thing on top. So the counter to all of this, right, is that, well, they're students first. So if they want to go to, if Michael Ratai wants to go to Ohio State and play basketball, there's nothing that Oregon State should be able to do to stop them. Well, if you want to go to Ohio State to get an education, if you want to talk about this from a scholastic point of view, if you want to go to Ohio State and get an education, that's great. Don't go to Oregon State. Go to Ohio State, but you can't play basketball.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do that. But but this isn't about scholastic. They're not. He would be transferring to Ohio State because they have a program that he wants to study over the program he's in at Oregon State. He's clearly going there to play basketball. Right. And so let's treat it what it is. Let's treat it like what it is.
It's
100%.
It's messy and annoying, and I hate that we're in the position we're in.
There are people that have allowed it to get messy.
Right.
There are people that very easily could clean this up, and they're just not.
Because they can't. They're afraid of doing it because they already are under a lawsuit.
Yes.
Right. There's
the
lawsuits with NCAA will never stop. That is one thing that you can bet on. If there's a bookie in Vegas, I'll take that bet.
Well,
there is really under the NCAA. There's no fixing this. There's under this governing body. There's no fixing this situation. Right. Period. There's no way.
So the NCAA has not instilled a lot of faith in me.
We do have to move on, and I'm going to ask one question. One, can we move on? And two, can we move on? Can I share some good news, or do you still want to? I know you look angry in your little rectangle. I want to bring some joy to it, and that joy comes in the form of another Oregon State baseball victory, who just beat Washington 5-2 in Hillsboro. More than 4,000 people on hand in Hillsboro.
No shit.
Hillsboro Hops for partnering with us as always. 5-2 for again. It's against a team that lost. Who did they lose? A D2 team, a D3 team. I don't know. That's just the way they roll. That's the way they roll. The Loots. Oh, give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Yeah, that Washington just loves rapping "Give me the loot" and then receiving the loot, which they received in Hillsboro tonight, 5-2. Another great game for Ava Arquette. And coming into this midweek, Oregon State's double-digit.
Who's playing his former school,
former team. Love to see that. Always love being a Big Ten team. A classic Big Ten team. Classic, Big Ten non-conference matchup between teams from Corvallis and Seattle in Hillsboro, Oregon. Yeah. How is
on a 70-degree day in March?
And I'm sorry, JP, that we kept you from attending that game by recording tonight. We should have just recorded it live in the press box. We all could have come out. It would have been fun. But that is victory 18, 19,
18,
90, 18.
No, 19 and 4.
19 and 4, getting the winning streak rolling again after Cal Poly stole one. But even coming into this game tonight, still ranked top 5 in the D1 baseball rankings. As it says in the notes, baseball doing baseball things. And I know we only have time for a quick segment, but love seeing them.
You meant to say, though, give me the half loot.
Give me the half loot. Give me the half loot. Give me the flute. Give me the flute.
Loot, money, share.
Right. That went over my head. I'm sorry. I'm still recovering.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Give me half of the loot of Ohio State, but 10% back if you poach Michael Ratai.
That's a good song.
Right. Yeah. That's a great Biggie song. Noted Michael Ratai diss track maker, Notorious B.I.G.
I'm going to make a Michael Ratai diss track on Suno. I'm doing it right fucking now.
Damn it. I poked the bear.
You
Baseball,
did.
19-4, you guys beat Washington. JP, say something about it.
I really did want to go tonight. Even if we were recording, I would have figured out something. Hillsboro, weeknight. I know it's spring break, but Hillsboro, weeknight.
It did look beautiful out there, but You would have been
it didn't seem
in a shitload of traffic getting out because, as I stated, more than 1,200 people out there in Hillsboro at a stadium that
I'll wait till Ron Tonkin Field 2.0 comes out in a year or two.
Ron Tonkin. Oh man, I miss. There's certain things about Portland when I hear it, I'm like, I forgot that was a thing. What was that guy? Tom something in Gloria 2?
Gloria 2. What's
Peterson.
Gloria 2?
Tom Peterson in Gloria 2. It's like a furniture shop. Tom Peterson in Gloria 2. Our Portland listeners will know what I'm talking about. But Ron Tonkin's another one.
I'm glad.
Ron Tonkin. Sounds like such a manly name.
I'm making a Michael Ratai West Coast rap diss track right now. It's, But we should play can we put up our song somehow on here? I can actually play that. I don't think there's any license.
It's yours.
And I want to see. I think so.
Should we just play the whole track as ending credits essentially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here pretty soon. We got to shout out Jim
I want
first.
To play. Yeah, well, we got a little more shout out, but I want to play it. I'll play it at some point, and then if you're listening all the way at this hour or whatever mark, and you like the song,
normally we're at the third time out of the first half at the hour mark.
Yeah, we're getting speedy for y'all.
Yeah, we're getting speedy.
We're actually going against your feedback of being longer
because we're all tired and getting older.
Yeah. The song JP is going to play was written, produced, and performed by us. In case you were wondering.
Yeah. Listen to the vocals; they're definitely us.
Yeah,
to a degree.
Yeah,
to a degree.
Yeah. Carey is essentially White Drake.
While you're, many,
but not like that.
White girl wasted co-eds have said 20 years ago. Anyway,
before he was a pedophile.
Before Drake was a pedophile.
Not yet, not you.
Yes, please specify.
Not you.
I just said he. I don't know. Leave it up to the interpretation of the listener.
Definitely. But no, don't leave that up to the interpretation of the listener. Fuck.
All right.
Let's just delete this whole episode now. It's getting too dicey. Definitely.
You're sweaty. Terry's sweaty.
Certified,
wiping all the sweat off
before Drake
face.
ruined it. Anyway, shout out to Oregon State Gymnastics going to the NCAA tournament.
Let's go.
The NCAA tournament. We've talked, 4 years. We were on the Jade Carey bandwagon before I think anybody. And
we were telling everyone to tune in to those Tokyo Olympics,
2021 Olympics. We were here, and
we were like, she's
all those Olympic gold medals.
State.
But there's one gold medal that has been elusive to Jade, aka Jade Carey, and that's the NCAA gold medal. But she enters this tournament with the #1 ranking in the country in the all around and on balance beam. The whole squad's looking good.
Because she's on fire
OSU
lately.
Making it to the team championships is something that has also eluded this team in recent years, despite the fantastic performances and the rankings. Is haven't quite been able to get to that final weekend of the season. But that mission continues and starts this weekend.
This is their 50th consecutive season making the postseason.
Damn. 50th?
That's wild.
That was happening before I was even born.
Right.
Barely.
That's like a Kansas basketball streak.
I mean, that's epic.
That's fantastic.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This weekend, Birmingham, Alabama Regional. We'll be tuned in, locked in, ready to go.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Right. Benny, have you ever been to Birmingham?
I've never been to the state of Alabama.
Me neither.
Yeah. I have not been to Birmingham.
I'm fine with that.
Birmingham, that's where
Alabamans.
Michael Jordan played double A
baseball.
Birmingham Barons.
Barons. He was real good.
He was.
He didn't want to shame all the other players and move back to basketball.
That's what it was. No, it was Space Jam was a true story. He had to go back to basketball to stop the aliens from stealing the NBA players' talent.
It's true.
Come on. Am I the only history buff here? Come on, you guys. The LeBron James one was the only fictional Space Jam. Space Jam 1 was a documentary. I didn't watch it. That was one of those ones where I was like, Space Jam, I can be talked in and even agree with any film major being like Space Jam's a bad movie, but it just exists in my brain as a perfect movie. And every time I watch it, I have fun. And there's a bit of nostalgia in that. I don't need the music. New one.
Yeah.
That's not the only reason.
I know, but it carries. It definitely carries the movie.
Still, as far as soundtracks go, it's a phenomenal
It's one of the best.
It's one of the best,
except for R. Kelly. You look at you defending R. Kelly, Drake.
I'm not defending R. Kelly. You can take I Believe I Can Fly off there. But even if you listen to the Space Jam,
I have to give that one.
I've read multiple things that when you listen to R. Kelly songs on Spotify, the victims get money. The victims of R. Kelly get money. So if you're looking for that,
don't listen to like Bump and Grind. Listen to I Believe I Can Fly. At least there's like a good message in there.
Right.
Not a huge fan of R. Kelly. Before all that.
Oh, I'm Benny, and I saw it coming. Yeah, like we all did. We watched Chappelle's show too, Benny.
Wait,
I'm just saying I don't like his music.
I mean, Ignition remix, like that.
You like remix to Ignition? Don't fucking lie. Shut up.
Too.
I'm not a big R&B fan.
That's the biggest. It's remix to
Ignition.
Ignition.
R&B fan.
It's Ignition remix, Terry.
That's right.
Ignition the song remix. Says remix to Ignition.
But the title is Ignition
Fresh
remix.
Out the Kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that song. That came out 30 years ago.
That body, got every minute. But then you're like, what was his mindset this whole time? I don't like this. But I do love the song.
It's a perfect song. But anyway.
So's I Believe I Can Fly.
This episode took a dark turn, and I blame Michael Rataj.
Yeah, way to go. The German kid. That's all I know him as. This is all we knew him as when he first came here.
From three guys
as people with
three
the most German last names.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Disappointing.
You're making us look bad, Michael.
Disappointing. Yeah. But we should have opened a German restaurant in Corvallis. The food is ridiculously easy to make because it sucks.
He probably would have just taken the NIL money to go eat at Italian food.
Sucks?
I mean, a good brat is a great brat. Good schnitzel is good schnitzel. Okay. Sauerkraut's fine. I grew up next to Wisconsin, dude. Sauerkraut is. I'm a little played out over here.
German food is better than remix to Ignition.
No, it's not. That's the most false thing that's ever been said on this podcast. In the 177 episodes of perfect podcasting. We're gonna do this offline, but there's I would guess there's probably 100 countries whose cuisine I prefer to that of Germany.
I bet you haven't tried 50 countries' cuisine.
I have tried 50 countries' cuisine.
Let's argue about this more for the next 45 minutes so we hit our normal length of an episode.
I can't do it. JP, would you like me to sign us off, or would you like to play something?
Well, I'm going to swap our outro with our new intro potentially. So tune in to the outro. And then you can finally hear Terry talk about our socials.
After the intro.
No, during.
Right now. Belligerent Beavs.
You can take 30 or not 30 minutes. 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
You want me to take 3 minutes and 35 seconds to talk about socials? Okay,
the music's on. Don't blow it.
107:45. The music's on. Don't blow it. I know it.
I just had Suno make a song though, by the way, and it's called Portal Punishment with an N in it.
Wow.
I'm really excited to listen to this.
Look for Portal Punishment and more.
On Spotify.
From JP Bertram on Spotify and on Twitter at the Trial J. That's at the _Trial_J because he's too Trial to be real. And at JP Bertram on Instagram. Also, that man who is lying about remix to Ignition and the promise
German food
in the kitchen. German food in his kitchen.
Food in the kitchen. It's remix to Ignition. It's remix to
German food in the kitchen.
I got schnitzel in the kitchen, and no one is excited because it's fucking schnitzel. Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian Weepage. We'll go to a German food hall together, Benny, and I will enjoy it. I won't lie. Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian Weepage, a.k.a. Benny with the good cough, a.k.a. Benny Schnitzel cough. Benny Bedlam to his fucking crazy folks. A.k.a. Benny. This guy spends more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff. A.k.a. Benny Bullgame, a.k.a. Benny Glassball, at Benny L 1986 on all social media channels. And I am Terry Horseman at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at Terrence Horstman on Instagram.com. Please follow us at Belligerent Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs everywhere else with some ridiculously long account name on Blue Sky, but we are there as well. We are on Spotify now, I think. Catch us on Canva. Probably some music show, slideshow on Canva, MySpace, Friendster, all the in-crowd sites. And peep the website, belligerentbeavs.com, belligerentbeavs.com/merch, where maybe you'll be able to buy the song if we want to give a real throwback, have our own little iTunes store on the Belligerent Beavs store. Get 99 cents if you love nostalgia. And yeah, remember to tip your hats to the Oregon State women's basketball team. On this pod, we love Scott Ruick and our queen, AJ Murat, who always has the ox. But remember, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what they checked away, no matter who dives into some portal punishment, you can't spell ChopEm without hope. So ChopEm.
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 Beavs back, baby.
50 seasons. Wow.